You're listening to the Values and Leadership Podcast, where business leaders share their stories of purposeful impact and success.
Hello and welcome to the Values and Leadership Podcast, the podcast for innovative leaders who want to apply new ways of doing things in work and deploy their talents and time to earn their legacy every day. I am your host, Ahmed Arif. This episode is the production of CorpoCure, a values-based leadership development advisory firm that unleashes possibilities for leaders in elevating their business and its people to their next best stage and have a purposeful impact in business and in life. Today, we have a special guest. We have Rob Dube. Rob is the author of DoNothing, the most rewarding leadership challenge you will ever take. This is the title of the book, which is very interesting, by the way. Rob, he is the founder, organizer of the DoNothing Leadership Silent Retreat. In addition to his book, he is a contributor to Forbes Thrive Global. Rob is a member of the Small Giants Journey and past member of the board of directors for the Small Giants community. As well, Rob, he is the host of Leading with Genuine Care podcast. And Rob is the president and co-owner of Imageone for the past 29 years. Welcome to the show, Rob.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful to be with you. And you were so kind to connect with me and offer this invitation to join you around a very important topic that you're putting out in this world. So thank you to you.
Thank you very much, Rob. And I think I have mentioned a lot that you are doing. You are an author. You are even leading a movement now, or organizing a movement now, and you are a contributor. You are to articles, and you are involving in other communities, which is purpose-driven communities like Small Giants. Mm-hmm. And you are hosting a podcast, so you have a voice and you have a message, and you are a businessman. You have been in business for 29 years, but unlike other people who maybe like to sell their companies or have diverse kind of businesses, but it seems that for the past 29 years, you have been in the same place, Imageone, your company, Imageone. Mm-hmm. So it means that all your memories, all your emotions, all the ups and downs you have experienced in Imageone. And this is the main thing in your life. It seems to me that Imageone was not acquired for the past 29 years. So I want to hear your emotional story with Imageone, and why are you loyal to Imageone?
You got it. Well, I'll start with kind of the backstory about my best friend and I in ninth grade. And we started selling what are called blow pop lollipops. They have gum in the middle. And we would sell those out of our locker in high school. We'd buy them for a nickel and resell them for a quarter. And we kept doing all kinds of businesses through high school and college. And when we graduated college, we started this business, Imageone. And we really were just excited to have a business, to sell something, and to have the independence to make our way in our own way. And I think that drove us, from the very outset. And we were able to limp along and grow the business a bit. And actually in 2004, we did sell the company, and we sold it to a public company. And we ran it as a wholly owned subsidiary for 18 months. They had some executive changeover, and we bought the company back after 18 months. And when we were offered the opportunity to do that, we thought to ourselves, what would we do differently? How could we do business in a different manner? Because something didn't seem right to us prior to the sale in the way that we were going about our business. And we learned about a book and now an organization that you mentioned called Small Giants. And Small Giants originated with this book by Bo Burlingham. And he highlighted companies, mainly from the United States, that were values-driven businesses that had founders with purpose and that were placing people before profit. And that really resonated with my business partner and best friend, Joel Perlman, and myself. And so we decided when we bought the book, we were going to operate on that premise. And that is exactly what we've been doing since 2006. And it's been a big difference maker for our organization and most certainly the people involved in our organization, whether that be the direct team members or employees, our stakeholders like our customers and our vendors and our communities that we're a part of. And it's been awfully rewarding for Joel and myself.
So in the past 15 years, when you discovered this nice book, which is talking about small giants, so it seems that the 29 years so far, 14 of them you were dealing with Imageone as a normal business company, which is focusing maybe on profits. Then you started to realize after 14 years, when you read the Small Giants, that there is another way to do business, which is different. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Mm-hmm. How did you go about that change now? Now you are changing your beliefs, you are changing your mindset, and you are changing your people. I mean, your employees and your executives as well. So how was the shift went with you and with them?
Well, interestingly, we weren't really changing our beliefs about that were inside of us. What we learned was that there was a different way that you could do business. And that was something that was new to us. A better understanding of how you could grow a business successfully and in that way, by being purpose driven. And so, that was really what was inspiring to us, because previous to that, we had not seen that in the business community, especially in the community where our business is, which is it's a blue collar town, Detroit, Michigan, in the United States. It's an automotive town for the most part. And you really saw more, here in the United States, there's unions, and then there's, non-unions, there's white collar against blue collar. And there was a lot of, companies where there was almost like two parts of the company and everybody wasn't on the same page all the time. They almost had different goals in mind. And that's kind of what we saw as we grew up in business. But as we learned more about these organizations that were out there and highly successful, by the way, we were inspired because something inside of us said that fits us. That's what we're about. We just didn't realize it could be done in that way. And so that's more of how it came about for us.
Mm-hmm. So this kind of realization and understanding that there are other ways to do business, did this change the decision-making process, let's say, in Imageone or not?
Yes, because we started to realize the more we invested in our people, and it's not just dollars, but that's part of it, the more successful and fun the company was. We were working together, meaning every single person in the team, we were working together towards a common vision and lifting each other up versus what we like to say is being a dragger downer. Really caring about each and every one of our health and well-being, the totality of our lives, realizing that in a business, everybody is not the same. We're all different in our own unique ways, and it's important to embrace that difference. Now, maybe we come together with common vision, common values, common purpose, but we all have different things happening with us in our lives. And so the question is how can we support each other? How can we lift each other up so we can be happier? And that's been really the most impactful part of seeing how this can work and growing in a really pragmatic way. meaning, you can grow, at least here in what we've experienced in the United States, and I'm sure it's not different in the international community, but I'm just not as involved and know as much about that. You would know more about that than I would. But in my communities, there's a sense that you should become the biggest and the greatest. And you really don't have to have an amazing organization. You can have a very strong, healthy company. And when I say healthy, meaning the company's numbers are healthy and they help to continually lift up the people that work within that organism, the company. And then, we always say, how cool would it be if at the end of somebody's career, and they were sort of retiring or moving on, they looked back on their time with the company and said, one of the best things I ever did in my life was decide to go work at that place. It changed my life. And to be able to in our small way, maybe create a foundation around that, and maybe some tips and tools that we have in place at the company. That's what we're all about. I mean, our purpose is to lead with genuine care with everyone, every day, every time. And that's what gets us up every day. And the rest just falls in place. The success of the business, the successes in our community, the successes of our customers and our vendors, and of course, our people.
What's the size of your company in terms of employees?
We have 55 team members.
55, great. So in order to achieve this common vision, did you take anything internally? I mean, for the decision-making, are you letting go some of your power, of your decision-making power, or do you create some processes to empower the employees? Do you have like a kind of ownership culture for the employees? And how does that looks like from inside? What's the operative things?
Yeah, it's a great question. There's a few things we do. First of all, we're all about collaboration. We make decisions together. It slows things down sometimes, but we feel that we make better decisions when we're all heard. And when we're all heard, we can accept whatever decision is made because we were heard. I mean, at the end of the day, some of the things we want in life, really, even outside of business, we just want to be heard and we just want to be respected. And so our culture cultivates that, and it is empowered to do that, and more than encouraged, it's required. We practice open book finance. There's a mentor of ours, Jack Stack. He created something called The Great Game of Business. It's also a book. And we utilize that platform as a way to educate our team to ensure they're financially literate, both within the business and personally. So again, in many communities here in the United States, those that go to work, a high percentage don't understand the financial aspects of a company. They don't understand an income statement or a balance sheet. In fact, a lot of owners don't, or executives. And a very high percentage don't understand their own financials. They don't understand their own budget. They don't have a budget. They don't have a net worth statement. They don't have a net worth. And when I say net worth, I mean in terms of dollars and cents.
Definitely.
Everybody has a personal net worth.
Sure.
Now, this is empowering because as soon as the team members understand how the business works, the numbers, how the sales come in, and how the dollars go out, and how it's important you get paid, and how much you make a profit, and and where the expenses are and how it all adds up like a math problem to tell you at the end of the day, are you making money or not? And to understand the importance of a balance sheet and things like, if you have too much inventory, you have less cash. And when you have more cash, you can make more investments. Things like that. And then being able to translate into their own personal life and to create their own budget and start, being aware like they are at the company of their own, income coming in and dollars going out and what's left at the end of the day. And how can I set myself up for a brighter future? And so to be able to teach that to the team it's an honor. It's humbling, and to have their openness and willingness to continually learn, and then to see the better decisions people make when they understand how the dollars and cents work, because they start saying things like, wait, save that. Oh, but this is only $10. Yeah, $10 is $10. It doesn't matter how many millions. It doesn't matter how many millions are coming in and out of the door. Every dollar makes a difference, and when you're paying attention, they add up. And so, that's an important part of our culture. And then when we create a vision for the future, everybody is heard. When we create our goals for every year, we start that 6 months before the beginning of the year. So it's a 6-month process where everybody is heard. All things are taken into consideration, all ideas, all initiatives. And we slowly have to whittle them down from, 120 to 3. Wow. Because, as many as we want to do, you can only do so many so good.
Exactly. Yes. You should focus.
That's right. So for us, less is more. And so, but everybody's heard, and they're all part of this collaboration. And so when your idea, when your initiative, when the thing that you feel is so important, when you start to see all the other pieces of the puzzle, you start to understand it's just one piece of the puzzle. And then you have to, make decisions internally about, how hard are you going to grasp on, and what are you willing to let go to? And once you're willing to let go, you're on board with what's best, because it's not about who's right. It's about what's right.
This is very important. So you enable your employees to create the vision, not only but to create it. So you did not create the vision. No, you made them participate in creating it, and you financially empowered them as well.
That's right.
طيب. Now you are making them as if they are owners, because you said,
that's right.
One of them can say, no, this is $10. And when he says that, he is acting as if this is his 10. So he wants to be like preserving the money. طيب. But one thing, at the first time when you were thinking about making this financial literacy to the employees and making them know about the financials, definitely you are not listed, so you are not obliged to show your financial results. But when you were thinking about that, weren't you afraid that when employees know about the true profits, that they start to ask for more or something?
Yes. And that was just me being naive, because the reality is that most employees think the company's making more than they actually are. And they, through their knowledge of how the company works, the company ends up making more. And when the company makes more, in my opinion, if you do it right, and this is the way we do it, they share in that growth. They share in that profit, that additional profit. So every year, it's not only advantageous for them in terms of personal and professional growth to come into this business and understand it and be able to make decisions that matter, but also it could be a great opportunity for each team member to make additional income and help them move towards their own financial goals in life. So when they're not looking back after many years of hard work and saying, what was that all for? I have no savings and I worked really hard for this company and I have nothing to show for it.
Great. So you found a formula, you and the employees, that we can work together for our own best, and you agreed on that plan, and you started to do the work and nothing else.
That's right.
How does that reflect in your relationship with the clients? Because I found in your profile you are mentioning we are building meaningful connection with the client needs. So what does that mean? So does that mean that you don't do marketing campaigns, you don't do advertisement, or you just rely on word of mouth? How does that go?
No, I mean, we have to run the business like any other business. We need to run marketing campaigns and have a sales machine. And, we need, in terms of what you're mentioning, one of the things that we always want to put a focus on, and it really having a strong culture means you don't have to work so hard at it. It just comes naturally. And that is building meaningful connections, which means really understanding the totality of our customers' lives, of our vendors' lives, of our community, of the people in our community and their lives, and how we can make a difference for them. That's what gets us excited. The products and services that we sell are not all that unique. There's many, many competitors in our space. And so, our culture is really what differentiates us and why people do business with us. And when you build authentic relationships, people trust you because you trust people in your life that you have an authentic relationship with. That just makes sense. And then when it comes time to, look at hard business discussions, oftentimes having to do with budgeting and things of that nature, they have a deep-rooted trust in what you're sharing with them because you've built that relationship over time. And that trust is real because the information that they're getting is real. And so when I think about it, I think to myself, it's just the way it should be. There shouldn't be secrets, and nowadays business can be used as a conduit to help each other grow and come together as a community rather than just be a conduit to, shareholders gaining maximized return on their investment.
And I see you mentioned the word community several times in the show so far. So for you and your team as well, because you are taking the decisions together. So how do you look to your P&L? So for example, do you agree on some kind of percentage? So let's say from the revenue, let's say. So do you give 10% back to the community in whatever kind of projects that you finance, or do your employees volunteer in some community things? How do you think about the financial part from your open source book?
Every team member receives a full day to do whatever they are passionate about within their community. And we have team members who are all over the place. We're based in Detroit, Michigan, but we have people, I think, in 13 or 14 states. So they can do whatever they feel is impacting their community, anything, without judgment, And so that's one way. And we believe the most impactful way. Certainly we contribute dollars to organizations that the company is passionate about and that our team members are passionate about. We help to support their efforts. But at the end of the day, we feel the most impact comes from our personal investment outside of the dollars and cents. our personal investment into whatever it is that helps us to make an impact in the community. And that comes in all shapes and sizes for all kinds of different people. And we highlight them every month when we do our all hands meetings. And it's so inspiring to see what people do out there. And that's when you see the pictures and you feel it in your heart. Writing the check doesn't have that same impact. It does have an impact for the organizations you're writing the check to. And we realize that, and that's part of our responsibility within our communities. But, our favorite part of it is really, when we're out there.
Great. Do you try to make some partner with other companies as well in your community or in your industry to serve as well, you and them? Did you find that easy, or not a lot of companies want to participate in joint efforts into this regard, community-based things?
Within our community, or do you mean like this kind of the way we operate, values-based organizations? Is that your question?
Yes. Did you find that this message that you are believing in, you and your team, is there in the community, or it's just rare?
No. Well, I do think it's a smaller percentage of companies, but first I'll say they are out there and they're growing quite a bit. I think many entrepreneurs are, in their heart, this is really what has always been a driving factor for them, but them, like me, maybe never realized that you could really build a successful company in this way. And I think that I think people are starting to realize it in organizations like the Small Giants community, the Tugboat Institute, and Conscious Capitalism, just to name a few, are opening the eyes of entrepreneurs and executives, around the United States and around the world, about, how they can run their businesses differently for the greater good, yet still be awfully successful.
Great. So you managed to do your definition of successful, because you mentioned some people were reluctant to see how come you are successful with your business while you are doing all of this, but you managed to find the right formula for what success is, doing all of that.
Well, I can't say I have the right formula. We have a formula, and it some years it's wonderful and some years it isn't, but the ultimate formula is staying focused on leading with genuine care with everyone, every day, every time. Business can be challenging. You win some, you lose some. The pandemic hit us hard, for example. Our culture, if it wasn't for our culture, it would have been, much more challenging. But we made it. We're making it through together. We're not out of the woods yet. But those are the sorts of things when we say there's a formula. I think there are many components. Part of the formula, for example, in our case, is what's the business model that brings the most value to the customer and provides the company with the best profit margin to be healthy, to be able to cultivate this sort of culture. So we have to be really mindful about sort of all pieces to it. We call it our cycle of care. And so they all play a part and they're interconnected.
You mentioned cyclic care?
Yes, we call it the Imageone cycle of care.
So it is the care. This is the foundation of everything.
That's right.
And you do that through market surveys, or how do you reach what's your really customer needs that you can help them with?
Well, ideally it starts with that genuine, authentic relationship you have with the customer, and you understand, where they came from, where they are today, and where they're going. in terms of their needs as a customer. And so we have a process at the company where we meet on a rhythm with our customers, and it depends on the customer. It could be, once every 2 weeks, once a month, once a quarter, once every 6 months, hopefully not much further out than that. And that's a time where we sit down with them. And as part of that agenda, we're asking them, okay, let's revisit where you came from in terms of your needs with our products and services, where you are today, and where do you see things going? And that's how we start to gain greater understanding into, where we'll need to be in the future to best serve our client base.
You are doing a great effort in that, because this is not a lot of companies are doing effort in that. But to go back to the customer and your clients based on this genuine care that you mentioned, and you sit with them, if their needs has changed or not, and how can you move forward, this brings definitely a meaningful connection. And this is how big businesses continue, because it's not important to have new customers, but to maintain your current customer and be focused on that. Yes,
that's right. And our business is about long-term relationships. So, we have the kind of products and services that people need, for a long period of time. It's not a widget that you order once and you don't need it again for a long time or ever. And so the relationships are even more important in that regard. But either way, I think your relationship with your customer is always so important. And the best way to do that in an authentic way is to be curious and to genuinely care about what's happening with them, both within their companies and their professional life, but also what's going on with them personally, and because sometimes, just like me and others, in the company, all of us, you have challenges in your life, and maybe you can be of service to them in that way too.
So you extend your relationship with clients even beyond the services or the products you offer. It's a personal thing.
I think that it's the relationship that matters most. And however we can be of service, that's what we're there for. And when you can do that with authenticity and curiosity is where it comes from. You understand how people are made up and what's happening with them in the totality of their lives.
This is a great effort you are doing, and it requires time, attention, and effort. So, and this is beyond the normal business case in most other companies. Yeah, this is how you express your genuine care.
That's right.
Great, Rob. Really, we crossed the time that we were expecting in the beginning of the show, but I found what you sharing is really important, and I would like that's why we continued the conversation, and I thank you for your time, and thank you for all the insights that you bring today, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Ahmed, and again, thank you for reaching out to me, and it is an absolute honor and humbling to spend time with you. I'm grateful to you and to the efforts that you're making to bring maybe some new thought processes out to those that may not be aware of them, and really having some wonderful guests on who can help spread that word.
Great. Thank you for the show without the guests. Great guests like you is nothing. So thank you for showing up and sharing your life experience and your beautiful moments in Imageone.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Thank you very much. Thanks.